like the days of a hireling. And so we're finding out a hireling is somebody that is appointed or hired for a certain period of time. And so man's days are short on this earth. Okay? Now, he read in the first verse, it says, is there not an appointed time to man? The Most High got an appointed time for man on this earth. So we got to realize now that at any time when the Most High says it's time for you, to come home in the spiritual world, that's the time. Okay, read that one more time up.
Is there not an appointed time to a man upon earth? Are not his days also like the days of an hireling? As a servant earnestly desireth the shadow, and as a hireling looketh for the reward of his work, so am I made to possess months of vanity, and worrisome nights are appointed to me.
Right, so come. So is there not an appointed time? So we had lost the signal for a second. So is what we did in the beginning, is that still?
Yeah, it's still there.
It's still there, okay. So we had lost the signal for a second, we got it back. So we had Job 7th chapter, 1st verse, and we're going to the 4th verse. So the Most High says, is there not an appointed time for man on the earth? There is an appointed time. Appointed time for what? Most High gives you your flesh, your body, your spirit comes in your body. You got an appointed time. You come through your mother's womb. Okay, you're born into the earth. You got an appointed time that the Most High going to give you. And then you're going to pass away and go back into the spiritual world. Okay, so what we're saying here, what the Most High is showing us, that you don't have too much time on this earth. That's why it behooves you to do what is right. To do what the Most High is looking for us to do, to be the example of a Hebrew Israelite like you're supposed to be. This is what the Most High wants us to do. Because you don't have long. And as you can see with our people here in America, you could be shot down, you can catch some kind of disease, anything can happen. So our life is short in America anyway. Okay? So a lot of times we don't live out our full life, okay, especially dispersed amongst the nations. We don't live out our full lives. Okay? When Most High cut the life expectancy short anyway. Okay? So go ahead, Al. Read to the 4th verse.
So am I made to possess months of vanity, and worrisome nights are appointed to me.
See, worrisome nights are appointed to us. This is what the Most High says. So we're on our beds. We try to go to sleep at night. We have problems going to sleep. We worry. We don't know how we're going to pay the rent, the mortgage, the bills. We got our children. How we're going to feed them. That's part of our tribulation here in America. Because why? We're going through this because we're the Hebrew Israelites. We sinned against the Most High, and now we got to catch hell. So even Job was saying worrisome nights. And you know what the Most High put on Job. Just to see if Job was going to do what? Keep his faith and keep the commandments. Okay, go ahead, Al.
When I lie down, I say, when shall I arise?
Say, when shall I arise? When I lie down. Go on.
And the night be gone, and I am full of tossings to and fro unto the dawning of the day.
And that's how some of us are, tossings to and fro throughout the night, because we have anxiety, because we don't know what to expect the next day. When the next day comes, we don't know what to expect. We don't know if we're going to be able to feed our children. Sometimes you don't know if you'll be able to go out to work. You don't know anything. So we are worried. We're worrisome. And so that gives us this anxiety and nervousness. But we are the Hebrew Israelites going through that because why? When we sinned against the Most High said he's going to put all this on us. He says, you're not going to have security of your life. Okay, he told us that. Okay, go on up. Read to the 4th verse.
When I lie down, I say, when shall I arise? And the night be gone, and I am full of tossings to and fro unto the dawning of the day. My flesh is clothed with worms and clouds of dust. My skin is broken and become loathsome.
Yeah, see? So now get Jeremiah 22 and 10. So what we're doing is we're just honoring Chaarawtazahla, okay, the brother who taught the whole nation the Hebrew, okay, and the Most High said, give honor to whom honor is due. So we're just honoring Chaarawtazahla. He was part of the Chaarawtazahla. Okay, he was, Most High brought him the truth for what? He's been in it about over 30 years. Okay, so his works do follow him.
Come.
Okay. Jeremiah 22:10.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 22, verse 10. Weep ye not for the dead.
Most High said, don't weep for the dead. Now, of course, we're going to weep, and we're gonna be in sorrow. Okay, we're going to be in grieving for a while because of Chaarawtazahla, of course. But the Most High is saying, don't weep too long for the dead. Why? Go ahead up.
Weep ye not for the dead, neither bemoan him, but weep sore for him that goeth away.
Most High said, yeah, weep sore for him that goeth away. Meaning weep sore for who? The ones of us that are still alive. Because we're going to catch hell last days. And we better make sure that we're doing the correct thing so that Yahweh Shai can put his hedge around us and protect us. But if we're not doing the right thing, and even though you know the truth and you're not doing the right thing, the Most High said, well, I don't even know you. Depart
If Yahweh, touching Shalom.
Okay, that was it. Go to Psalms 68 and 20. Psalms 68 chapter and the 20th verse. Now, the Most High also said he gives the issues of death. He gives it. Okay? Now, man think, well, okay, I just murdered somebody, I killed somebody, I did this. The Most High said, no. If man shed blood, by man's blood shall his blood be shed. Come? So, therefore, the Most High to take out another man's life. You think you did it. Now the Most High said he killed and make us alive. How about that? So we're just showing you how the Most High, how he's controlling everything in this earth, even death, even life and death. So the Most High, he's the one that gives how you're going to die, the circumstance behind how you're going to die. Understand, come? So the Most High gives everything. Even if you are saved from a certain circumstance, where the Most High, let's say it's an earthquake or a tornado, or hurricane, or a flood, and we see these things happen on earth today. Well, if you're saved from that, the Most High said, okay, well, I wanted you to be saved from it. But then certain other folk die from that, or get trapped up in that, and lose their life in that. It was the Most High that determined that. Who lives and who survives. The Most High determines it all. Okay, read that one more time.
The book of Psalms, chapter 68, verse 20. The power of salvation.
See, the Most High, Yahweh Shai, is the power of salvation. So if you're saved from a certain circumstance, it's because Yahweh Shai wants you to be saved. Okay? But if you're put to death in a certain circumstance for whatever reason, it was Yahweh Shai, Most High. Let's give and search out the Most High and understanding on why the Most High does this. Okay? Go ahead, Deuteronomy 32:39.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32:39. See now.
Yeah, there you go. He killed and he make alive. So the Most High does it. Not man. Man in his own mind, his puffed up mind, think that he does it. But the Most High does it. Okay? And he'll put it in man to do his bidding on what he wants man to do. Okay, go ahead, up.
I wound and I heal.
The Most High wound and he healed. So you wondering why in the earthquake, you got how many people died in that Pakistan flood? Over 1,500 people?
Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand.
And the Most High said you cannot deliver. There's no one that can deliver out of the Most High's hand. So when it's your time, and that's it. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Because the Most High is in control of life and death. This is what we got to realize. Get Psalms 90 and 10. And so the Most High gave us what? He said the days of our years are 70. And I'm going to tell you, Chaarawtazahla was still a young man. He was in his late 50s. He didn't even reach 70. So there is a purpose why the Most High would take him that early. And there's a purpose. The Most High going to reveal that to us. Most High will reveal that to us. Okay, there's a reason for it. And we're looking at, as a script like Solomon just read in Ecclesiastes, to protect him from the evil that's to come. Okay, so a lot of us, it's going to happen to a lot of us, to protect us from the evil to come. Okay, going up.
The book of Psalms, chapter 90,
in 10.
verse 10. The days of our years are 80 years and 10.
The days of our years are what? 80. So a score is 20, 80 is 60, and you add another 10, that's 70. So the life expectancy for a man in today's society is only 70 years. Now, when you read the scriptures, okay, a man is supposed to live to be at least 1,000 years of age. What happened? Why did the Most High reduce it from 1,000 to only 70 years? So we're living nothing in this earth. Nothing. We're still, at 70, you know, like Adam lived to be what, 950 years of age? At 70, Adam was still a baby. Okay? That's still a baby, you know, the age we're supposed to live, that's still a baby. Methuselah lived as long as, I think, 969 years of age. He's still a baby at 70 years of age. So here we walking around in our 60s with gray hair, old, witty thing. That's young. Okay, but that's what the Most High put on man for our sins. He took our life expectancy of 1,000 years and reduced it all the way down to 70 years of age. Okay, so still, we were speaking about Chaarawtazahla, still a young, whether they were wicked. Come? Everybody. Okay, so let's remember that. What you do in this earth, the Most High got his book. He got his books. He writes everything down too. Just like you write everything down, the Most High got secretaries and angels that write everything down what you have done in this earth. Everything you have done, Most High got it written down. Okay? So when you go into the spiritual world and the Most High open up that book and say, here's what you have done and see what you have done, and everything you've done was rape, robbery, murder, abominations, idolatry, adultery. So how is Yahushua going to judge you then in righteousness? Understand? So there's got to be a punishment, got to be a consequence. Okay, for what you have done. And he said, well, there's going to be what? Sorrow and labor. There's going to be sorrow and labor by that. Okay, go ahead up.
For Salakia, yet is there strength, labor, and sorrow, for it is soon cut off, and we fly away.
Yeah, see, we're soon cut off and we fly away, meaning you pass away and you go back into the spiritual world. Okay? Where you originated. You originated in the spiritual world. You just, in the fleshly world, you come in the flesh, your bodies are just lent to you for a certain amount of time, and then you go back to where you originated from, the spirit. That's all. We're spiritual beings. Okay? We're more so spiritual beings than fleshly beings. So we're just on this earth for a certain amount of time, and we go back into the spiritual world. Okay, come. Okay, go ahead. You read to the 12th verse.
Verse 11. Who knoweth the power of thine anger? Even according to thy fear, so is thy wrath. So teach us to number our days, that we may apply.
Right. So the scripture saying, the Most High is saying, so this is David, right? David's saying, look, Most High, teach us to number our years so we can apply our hearts to wisdom. So that's what it means. You only got about 70 years. So in that 70 years, apply yourself to God. Most High, teach us to number our years. In other words, measurement of years. Measure our years. So every year that go by, you get older and older. So every year that go by, you should learn what? Wisdom and knowledge. Experience, maturity, and understanding. Okay, Con? Go ahead, out. That was it? Yeah. And then get Revelation 14:13. Revelation 14:13. Because the Most High says, blessed are the dead. How about that? See, and some of us got this your life that it's not a blessing. We always look at it as a curse. It's not a curse every time somebody passes away. It's a blessing. So we're looking at Chaarawtazahla and the Most High know the reasons, and I'm looking at the Most High took him for a blessed reason. Blessed are the dead that they may rest from their labors. Not that it was a curse that the Most High took their life, but the Most High said, because I'm blessing them, that they may rest from their labors. Come. So we gotta understand that too, that the Most High blesses a lot of us from our works that we have done. So that's why it behooves you hospitality. Okay, pause for hospitality. Help your brother. Do whatever you can for your brother. That's what it said. If your brother asks you to go a mile with him, go that extra mile for him, if you can. Okay? If your brother asks you, especially if he's in need for resources or food or whatever, go that extra mile, help him out. Because why? All that is recorded by the Most High. If you're going to the Bible, the Most High got that. He got his own Bible up there. He got his own book too. This is a book he wrote, right? So he got his Bible up there, and he also got the book of life, what you've done individually in this earth. And he opens that book up and reads everything that you have done. That's Yahweh Shai said, every man's going to be judged that way. Okay, whether he works. We're saying with Chaarawtazahla, right, Khan? His works do follow. Now all the Hebrew that he wrote, and we're just going to show you some of the books, right? Some of the books he had wrote. And this is the Bible, the first 5 books. Chaarawtazahla wrote this, okay? All in Hebrew, the Paleo Hebrew. Chaarawtazahla did this. And when you can go on Amazon and get this book, Barnes and Nobles. And Amalek, the so-called Jew, took this book, and now he published it himself and makes thousands of dollars. He did this in the New Testament. Okay? This is the New Testament. All the Paleo Hebrew, New Testament. Okay? Chaarawtazahla did this. This is works. This takes a lot of studying and works to go through that Paleo Hebrew and get it down correctly. Okay? Chaarawtazahla did this. Okay, Now, when you brothers come to the summits, you see Chaarawtazahla, okay, selling his books, but it's worth it. Okay, it's worth it. And hundreds and even thousands of brothers got his Hebrew, got this book. And the guidebooks. Look at the guidebooks. This is all Chaarawtazahla. And this guidebook can teach you how to read Hebrew, how to study Hebrew, can teach you the words, how to pronounce works. Okay? The Sabbath service prayers guidebook.
I was trying to find it up there.
Okay? The Sabbath service prayer. Yeah. This is all Chaarawtazahla. You got one too, right? Yeah. Right? All Chaarawtazahla. Sabbath service prayer guidebook. Chaarawtazahla did all this. You know how many brothers got these prayers, got these guidebooks out that learn Hebrew? A lot of brothers got it, don't even know who did it. But they're learning Hebrew nonetheless. So that's why the Most High said your works do follow you. You got the complete ancient Hebrew workbook. Right. This Chaarawtazahla. See all this works? And it goes out. So that's why the scripture, he read that and said, what says it do follow you.
And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, right blessed are the dead which die in Yahweh.
Blessed are the dead which die in Yahweh. See, it's blessed. Chaarawtazahla was blessed. Okay, come. Okay. Whatever reason why the Most High took him, but we see that he was blessed. Come. Go ahead,
From henceforth, yea, saith the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, and their works do follow them.
So their works, labors, and his works follow him. So you don't think he's in the spiritual world, Yahweh Shai don't see all the works that he's done? Yeah, he see it. And he's going to be commended for it. Okay? Going to be commended for it. And so that's why the scripture says, give honor to whom honor is due. And that's what we're doing. Because why? We're the Hebrews. So don't let nobody tell you not to learn your language. You may hear that in some camps. Don't let nobody tell you we're Hebrews. Your language go fundamentally with your nationality. Hebrew, Israelite. Your nation and your language. They're synonymous. They go together.
These are all things that provoke brothers to a righteous act.
Right.
You go back and you bethink yourself and you
Right.
find the culture.
Exactly. So it's part of our culture. So how we going? Oh, don't teach the Hebrew. How are you not going? Well, you're teaching that you're Hebrew. You're teaching that you're an Israelite. So how you going to exclude the language? How you going to tell the Chinese man to exclude his language when you're teaching when he's being taught his nationality? No, they go together. Then you're going to teach the Arabs not to learn their Arabic. When they're trying to learn about their nationality, they're going to learn Arabic. It goes together.
Huh.
So this is what Chaarawtazahla did, and his works do follow him up. So we commend him on that. So Barakatha Yahweh Shai for Chaarawtazahla for the Paleo-Hebrew. And the level he came on a high level, the Hebrew, on a high level. Okay? Very high level. Get Isaiah.
And no man layeth it to heart.
How about that? See, the righteous perisheth. So does it mean everybody that perishes is wicked? No. The Most High said righteous men perish. But a lot of people don't lay it to heart. Going up.
The righteous perish, but no man layeth it to heart. And merciful men are taken away. None considering that the righteous is taken away from the evil to come.
See, the righteous are taken where? Taken away from the evil that's going to come. It's coming up. The great tribulation period, Jacob's trouble, is coming. And the Most High said, well, I'm going to take some of these righteous brothers away from that. So they won't have to face that. How about that? You're on such a righteous level with the Most High. He said, I'm going to protect you from that. How about that? And here we are down here. We're about to go into it, and we're still here. See? So you gotta look at that on another level when the Most High, when someone passes away, especially if they done great works. And you may say, well, he done all these great works. Why did the Most High take him? There you go right here. He said, I'm taking the righteous away to take him away from the evil that's about to come. How about that, huh? Go ahead, huh?
Verse 2. He shall enter into peace.
He shall enter where?
Into peace.
So Chaarawtazahla entered into peace. Okay, go on.
They shall rest in their beds.
They're going to what?
Rest in their
They're
beds.
going to rest. See? You at rest. Third chapter, start from the 11th verse. See, walking in his uprightness. Because what he did, Paleo-Hebrew, and teaching it on the level he taught it was an upright thing that he did. For so many years, for so many years. Okay, go ahead, Al.
The book of Job, chapter 3, verse 11. Why died I not from the womb?
Things here on the earth, and the Most High going to put you through things to see where you at. And we see that some brothers fail, right? Some brothers, as soon as you come into the truth, because your foundation is laid upon sand, right? You don't have a foundation.
Come.
Understand? Okay, go ahead, Al.
Don't the wild ass brave when he have grass? Or loweth the ox over his fodder? Can that which is unsavory be eaten without salt? Or is there any taste in the white of an egg? The things that my soul refuseth to touch are as my sorrowful meat. Oh, that I might have my request, and that power would grant me the thing that I long for. Even that it would please the power to destroy me, that he would let loose his hand and cut me off. Then should I yet have comfort. Yea, I would harden myself in sorrow. Let him not spare. For I have not concealed the words of the Holy One.
Okay, you're reading up until 19. Read to 19 verse.
Come.
Okay, 3 up to 19. Go ahead.
What is my strength that I should hope? And what is mine end that I should prolong my life? Is my strength the strength of stones? Or is my flesh of brass? Is not my help in me? And is wisdom driven quite from me? To him that is afflicted, pity should be showed from his friend, but he forsaketh the fear of the Almighty. My brethren have dealt deceitfully as a brook, and as the stream of brooks they pass away, which are blackish.
Are you in 3?
Yeah, Osalaki.
You got in 3. That's right. Okay, 3:11.
Salaki.
Right.
The book of Job, chapter 3, verse 11. Why died I not from the womb? Why did I not give up the ghost when I came out of the belly? Why did the knees prevent me, or why the breast that I should suck? For now should I have lain still and been quiet. I should have slept, then had I been at rest.
Right. So even Job is complaining. He's going through trials and tribulations, being tempted. Remember, Mosai sent Satan on him. Sent Satan on him. And a lot of us can attest what we're going through now. The Mosai is putting something on us, right? But Job is, Mosai sent Satan on him. Satan gave him boils and all kinds of different issues in his body. So Job was like, why did I have to be born? He was asking, why did I have to even be born? He's complaining because he's going through such hell. Why did I have to be born? In other words, why did I have to come through my mother's womb to go through this? Going up.
For now should I have lain still and been quiet. I should have slept, then had I been at rest.
Yeah, I should have slept, then I had been at what?
At rest.
Showing you that when you slept, meaning you passing on to the spiritual world, it says you at rest. Come?
Come.
So we know the brother Chaarawtazahla is at rest in the spiritual world. Come?
Come.
Go ahead, up.
With kings and counselors of the earth, which built desolate places
How
for
about
themselves.
That? Kings and counselors, they're in the same place. Everybody go to a certain place out in the spiritual. We all go to that one place. Okay? So you think you're somebody here in the earth, but when you get into the spiritual world, you everybody's the same. You go to that one place. Go ahead, up.
Or with princes that had gold who filled their houses with silver. Or as an hidden untimely birth, I had not been as infants which never saw light. There the wicked cease from troubling, and there the weary be at rest.
See? So the wicked cease from troubling, and the weary be at rest. In the spiritual world, huh? So you're at rest when you're in the spiritual world. Come?
Come.
And I'm going to tell you something. When you pass away, so you're going to say, remember it said, we read that his works do follow him. Come? So what we're saying about Chaarawtazahla, his works do follow him. Do you know that when you pass away, you don't lose anything? All your experiences, your knowledge, your wisdom, all that goes with you. Come?
Come.
It goes straight with you into the spiritual world. Everything that you've acquired in the fleshly world goes with you into the spiritual world. Your maturity, what you've gained, the knowledge and the wisdom that you've gained goes straight with you. You don't lose anything. Come? Because a lot of times people think, oh, okay, well, everything's going to be forgotten. It's nothing forgotten. Does the Most High forget? No. That's why the Most High write everything down. He ain't going to forget. So when you go into the spiritual world, when it's time for you to, when those books are open, and Yahweh shall say, well, this is what you've done. Well, how are you going to forget? You're not going to forget. The Most High, the remembrance of everything that you've done is going to go with you into the spiritual world. Come? Because then when Yahweh shall, you sit before Yahweh shall, he's going to say, this is what you've done. And you're going to know, yeah, I did that. Yeah, I did that too. I did that. Understand? So you don't forget nothing up. People get simple. You got people that don't even believe in the resurrection. They don't believe that when you die, what you've acquired on earth doesn't go with you. It does go with you. Okay, Con?
Come.
Okay. Now, that was it on that. Get me Wisdom of Solomon, the 3rd chapter.
Come.
Wisdom of Solomon, the 3rd chapter. Okay, so this is just give us some kind of better understanding on when you die, what happens, and when you pass away, what happens. Okay.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 1. But the souls of the righteous are in the hand of Yahweh, and there shall no torment touch them.
See, the souls of the righteous, they're in the hand. No torment is going to touch them. Okay, Con?
Come.
Now that means in the spiritual world also, but also here in the fleshly world. Con? The souls of the righteous are in the hands of the Most High. The Most High put that hedge around you and protects you from all evil. And that's why you continue to say your prayers constantly every single solitary day. So you'll have that protection. Go ahead, Up.
But the souls of the righteous are in the hand of Yahweh, and there shall no torment touch them. In the sight of the unwise, they seem to die.
See, in the sight of the unwise, the unwise, it says they seem to die. See? The unwise think, oh, the Most High took them, was cursed, whatever. That's the unwise. But this is what the Most High is saying. In the sight of the unwise, they seem to die. But go ahead, Up.
In the sight of the unwise, they seem to die, and their departure is taken for misery.
See, that their departure is taken for misery. Okay? Going up.
And they're going from us to be utter destruction.
And they think it's utter destruction. This is what the unwise think. Come. This is what the Most High is saying. Go on.
But they are in peace.
But the Most High said they are what?
In peace.
They are in peace. Now, the unwise is so foolish. They are in peace in the spiritual world. Here you down here catching chaos and hell. See, we're not in peace in this earth. The Most High says there is no peace. Okay, and when they say peace, peace, then sudden destruction.
Come.
So there is no peace for us. Come.
Come.
Not until you pass away and go into the spiritual world. That's where the peace is at. So there's no peace down here, but the unwise think that way. A foolish man think that way. Going up.
For though they be punished in the sight of men,
though they be punished in the sight of men, go on.
For yet there is hope full of immortality.
Right. There is hope full of immortality. So Yahweh Shai was the best example of that. Come. Though he's punished in the sight of men, but what did Yahweh Shai get when he went through all that and was risen the third day? Immortality. Come. See? That's what Yahweh Shai got. Now what do we got down here? Nothing. Chaos. Confusion. Rape, robbery, and murder. Hell. Destruction. Bloodshed. There's no peace here. Come. Okay, go ahead, Up.
And having been a little chastised, they shall be greatly rewarded, for Yahweh proved them and found them worthy for himself.
See, the Most High found him worthy. And we're talking about Chaarawtazahla. See? The Most High proved him and found him worthy for himself. That's why the Most High took him. Sometimes the Most High take you for what? For himself.
Come.
Take you back to the spiritual world for himself. Come. Now, we know what the scriptures say that we all coming back, So death is death. But remember, what did Yahweh Shai say? The body, the flesh is nothing, the spirit is nothing unless it be quickened. Come. So that's why you must die first, then be quickened by the spirit. To come back with what? With power. Full of power and knowledge and wisdom. Come. So the Most High could have done that for Chaarawtazahla to take him for himself. Because the Most High seen the works that he had done. Okay? Was that it on that? And then go to the next chapter, the 4th chapter, the 7th verse.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4, verse 7. But though the righteous be prevented with death, yet shall he be in rest.
See, the righteous prevented with death. How about that? Again, that's 4 and 7? Okay.
For honorable age is not that which standeth in length of time.
How about that? But how about the Most High saying you're prevented with death? See? The Most High takes your life to prevent you from the evil to come. Come? That's what he's saying. Okay? Now read that next part again.
For honorable age is not which standeth in length of time.
See, honorable age is not which standeth in length of time. See, you think you 60, 70 years old and you're honorable. You got a lot of wise old fools out there. They're not wise, but they're old fools. They're wise to their own conceits. So you may have gray hair and all that, but you're an old fool. So it's not in length of time, but what is it? Going up?
For honorable age is not which standeth in length of time, nor that is measured by number of years.
It's not measured by number of years. So an honorable age is not measured by how long you live. Come? See, but in the fleshly world, people think that. But what does the Most High say about that? Go on. Huh?
But wisdom is the gray hair unto men, and an unspotted life is old age.
Right. See, unspotted life is old age, meaning you kept yourself from wicked deeds to the best of your ability in your life. See, but wisdom is the gray hair. So we got, some of us got gray hair, right? But the Most High said wisdom is the gray hair of old age. Come. Most High want to see you gain wisdom and knowledge, maturity. Come. So that's the measurement that you should shoot for. That's the goal you should shoot for in this life, and in this fleshly life. You should shoot for wisdom and knowledge and maturity, experience, knowledge, understanding. Okay, go ahead, Up.
He pleased Yahweh and was beloved of him.
See, so we're talking about Christ Yahweh, right? He pleased Yahweh and was beloved of him. How about that? Go ahead, Up.
So that living among sinners, he was translated.
See, so he lived among sinners, and we've all sinned out in the fleshly world, right? We live among sinners. The Most High said, I'm going to translate him. So he transitioned from the fleshly world back into the spiritual world. Come. Because why? Because so the Most High can take him away from sinners. This is what the Most High is saying, that is a blessing. That's not a curse. That's a blessing, So sometimes we look at it the wrong way. And we got to look at it the righteous way. Come on a more spiritual level and look at why the Most High may take a man, instead of looking at it carnal. Okay? Was that it, Up? We read to the 5th verse. No, I'm sorry, to the 17th verse. Keep reading.
Yea, speedily was he taken away, lest that wickedness should alter his understanding.
See, he was taken away speedily, lest wickedness would alter his understanding. Go ahead, Up.
Or deceit beguile his soul.
How about that? So deceit won't beguile his soul. How about that? Sometimes the Most High got to do that for some of us, because we'll go right back out there in the world and get tempted, and then there you go. Most High said, "No, I don't want that to happen to you. I'm going to take your life so I can protect you." Going Up.
For the bewitching of naughtiness doth obscure things that are honest.
Yeah, you're naughty. Bewitching of naughtiness. Understand? So that's what's out there. The temptation to be naughty, to go out there and do something wicked. It tempts us every day, doesn't it? We get tempted every day. And like the brother said earlier, you go on TikTok, what do you see? A bunch of naked women, half-naked women twitching their behinds. See, the bewitching of naughtiness can tempt you to fall into wickedness. Understand? Fall into evil. That's how it is in this world. It's tempting. Going Up.
For the bewitching of naughtiness doth obscure things that are honest.
It obscures things that are honest. You're honest, you're sincere, but here comes that temptation that's going to take that away from you. And that's what happens. We fall into our temptation sometimes. Go ahead, Up.
And the wandering of concupiscence doth undermine the simple mind.
You're simple-minded. Okay? The wandering of concupiscence means the wandering of you going into your lust. Concupiscence means lust, extreme lust. Oh, let me try that TikTok thing. Let me try that. You know what I'm saying? Let me try. Let me see what this opioid is about. Everybody getting high. I want to try it out. You wasn't thinking about it years ago, but all of a sudden, the bewitching of naughtiness. See, that's the temptation. See, the wandering of concupiscence comes at you. That's how Satan does, right? Tempts you every day. It's at your doorstep every day. Single day is there. In your house, at your job, where you go. See, at the shopping center. You at the mall, wherever you go on vacation. It's there. Satan is there. See? You go to your job, Esau. He's there. It's there. He said a man enemies is them of his own house. It's there in your house. You can't escape it, See? The wandering of concupiscence. The temptation is always there. So how do we escape from it? Well, the Most High said, with some of us, he brings back into the spiritual world. That's how we escape. Just to protect yourself from it, right? Go ahead, Up.
For his soul pleased Yahweh, therefore hasted he to take him away from among the wicked. This the people saw and understood it not.
They don't understand it. Oh, Chaarawtazahla passed away. Well, you know. Yeah, but he passed away because this is why he passed away. The Most High is protecting his soul from the wickedness and the evil to come. Come. Go ahead, Doc.
Neither lay they up this in their minds, that his grace and mercy is with his saints,
See?
and that he have respect unto his chosen.
There you go. So how about that? Grace and mercy is unto his saints, and the Most High said, I respect him. See, when the Most High respects you, brother, that's a high level, isn't it? That's why the Most High called Abraham his friend. Abraham is my friend. So the Most High respected Abraham. Most High respected Moses so much, the Most High said, Moses, what do you think I should do to these people? The Most High listened to Moses, and when the Most High said, Moses, stand back so I may take these people out. Talking about, in the wilderness, right, when we sinned. And the Most High said, Moses, stand back. I'm going to take these people out. And Moses intervened and said, Most High, don't do this. Because then the nation's going to know that you brought them out just to kill them in the wilderness. And you know what Most High thought about it? He said, you know something, Moses, you're right. I'm not going to do that. I saw you, Most High had respect to Moses, what Moses was saying to not destroy Israel in the wilderness. Most High had respect unto what Moses was saying. See, that comes on a high level, and we got to get to that level where the Most High respects us, where the Most High will listen to what you say, and will honor what you even say. That's why he said we're going to judge angels, right? When we pray and ask the Most High, take out that city over there because they're wicked as hell. The Most High said, okay. I'll take that city out. See? So remember, the Most High told Abraham asked the Most High, would you destroy that city if it had 50 in it? Would you destroy that city if it had 40? If it had 30? And Most High and Abraham went all the way down to 1, right? The Most High said, no, I won't even destroy that city even if it had 1 righteous. But the Most High did one even better. He said, I'll take out the righteous and then destroy the city. That's how wicked they are. Sodom and Gomorrah, right? It's better for the Most High to take out the righteous one and then destroy the city. That's what the Most High did. So the Most High had respect. And that comes with it on a high level. That comes through your works, your diligence. That's what Chaarawtazahla means. Chaarawtazahla means diligent power. Diligent power. How about that, huh? So we're learning something here. Through wisdom and now we're learning something here. That the Most High can have respect for some of us and takes us out, okay, so that he can protect us from the evil to come. Okay, go ahead, Al.
Thus the righteous that is dead shall condemn the ungodly which are living.
How about that? He condemns the ungodly which are living. How about that? See? Because he condemns, that's why a lot of times the scriptures say, right, we read it, your works follow you. So, Chaarawtazahla, right, his works follow him. See? So what can brothers say now? Understand, come? Condemning the ungodly, which are still living. What can they say? See, so good works, man. That's very important. Go ahead, Up.
Salakia. And youth that is soon perfected the many years and old age of the unrighteous. For they shall see the end of the wise and shall not understand what Yahweh in his counsel hath decreed of him, and to what end Yahweh hath set him in safety.
Yeah, so the Most High is setting him in safety. So this is what we see. So, but the Most High is showing us that it is a spirit that quickeneth. The flesh does not profit anything. So understand, there's no condemnation to them that are in the spirit, right?
Clear.
So get Romans 8, 1-2. So we got to learn how to live in the spirit of truth. Got to learn how to learn and live in the spirit. And by living in the spirit, you'll be able to obtain the knowledge and wisdom of the Most High in a much better fashion. Some of us gain or try to gain the truth in an ungodly fashion. They're getting the truth, but their minds are not correct. So it doesn't benefit them none. Come? All right, so read that.
The book of Romans chapter 8 verse 1. There's therefore now no condemnation to them which are in Yahushua HaMashiach.
So no condemnation to them that are in HaMashiach Yahushua. So you might ask, well, how do you get in Yahushua? How about that? How do you get in Yahushua? Well, what did Yahushua say to do? See? Keep his what? Laws, statutes, and commandments. Be obedient. Be obedient to the gospel. See, be an example. That's why the scripture says the kingdom of heaven is where?
It's within.
It's within you. See? So you have to be an example. That's how you become, that's how you're able to be in Yahushua, be an example of what Yahushua spoke about. That's what you got to do. And I'm going to say that's what Chaarawtazahla, he exemplified what we're supposed to do as an Israelite brother. Charitable, humble, right? Hospitable, courteous, understand, willing to teach you. You can call him up. He's willing to teach you. Doesn't matter who you are, you can call him up. He's willing to teach you. You want to learn the Hebrew, he's willing to teach you over the phone, in person, didn't matter. Understand? Some brothers, you try to call them, they don't even want you to. Who gave you my number? What are you talking about, brother? I'm just calling. I ask you a few questions. Who gave you my number? See? When a brother says that, that means what? They don't really want you to call them. Right? They don't want you to ask them anything. Right? You can't, you got brothers walking around with, 10 bodyguards. They don't want to receive you. You know what I'm saying? Bodyguards all over the place. Some brothers got attack dogs, everything, huh? See? This is not what, did Yahushua have bodyguards? They didn't have bodyguards, huh? The disciples have all, they didn't have that, huh? They went out 2 by 2. Understand? Because if you're teaching the truth, what's going to happen? The angels are there with you. The angels aren't going to let nothing happen to you. They're not going to let nothing happen to you. So you got to have that. That's why the scripture says, not many men have faith. All men don't have faith. So yeah, you're teaching the Bible, you're teaching the truth, but you don't have faith in it. See, it's like empty words. And Yahushua, that's why he says, I know what you think about me. So I know how you think. That's why Yahushua says, I know what you think about me. And all them that hate me are an abomination. That's what the Most High says. Okay, so he knows your hearts, right? And your mind. Go ahead, read that.
There is therefore now no condemnation to them which are in Hamashiach Yahushua, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. For the law of the Spirit of life in Hamashiach Yahushua had made me free from the law of sin and death.
Right, so we walk in the Spirit. Okay? Not in the law of sin and death. Meaning you're walking fleshly. You're walking in your flesh. That's what that means. So you're following, because walking in the flesh, meaning you're subject unto Satan. And the world of Satan. Your sins and everything, which is Satan. So you want to walk in the Spirit. Even though we're in a negative world, you still walk in the Spirit of Hamashiach Yahushua. All right, and that's how we're supposed to walk. And then when you go to John 6:63, St. John 6:63, the scriptures say this.
The book of John, chapter 6:63. It is the Spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing.
Your flesh don't profit you nothing. So we say Chaarawtazahla passed away, but his spirit is quickened now. Flesh don't profit nothing. Okay, go ahead.
The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit, and they are life.
Right. They are spirit and they are life. What did Yahweh Shai say? Them that worship me must worship me how?
In spirit.
In spirit and in truth.
That's right.
Right. So we're in the process now of trying to gain the spirit of life, the spirit of truth. This is why you come and be taught. And you to the best of your ability, keep the commandments. You're trying to obtain the spirit of truth. Come? Because knowing that you're an Israelite is one thing. But having the spirit of truth and following is another thing. Come? It's another thing. A lot of people out there know they're Israel, but they don't follow the commandments. They don't do nothing. Come? This is why Yahweh says it's going to be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Just because you know you're an Israelite doesn't mean anything. You must obtain the spirit of truth, and you must, and then acquire faith on top of that. Acquire faith and love in the Most High on top of that, and be obedient on top of that. So just knowing that's nothing. We knew we were Israelites back then, right? So the Most High still charges us with sin, right? Still charges us with sin. All right. And so that was 63. So 1 Corinthians 15:34. 1 Corinthians 15:34.
The book of 1 Corinthians 15, verse 34. Awake to righteousness and sin not, for some have not the knowledge of Yahweh. I speak this to your shame.
How about that? Some said, awake to righteousness, see, and sin not. I speak this to your shame. Because what is Paul saying? A lot of us are a bunch of sinners. Yet we know the truth, don't we? We know we're Israel, but we're still a bunch of sinners. See? And this is what you find in Israel today, This is what you find in these camps, Israelite schools. You'll find adultery, you'll find abominations, you'll find idolatry. You'll find sinners in a lot of these Israelites. This is what you find. Same things happen what was happening in ancient time, what we did against the Most High, you'll find it again today. Read concerning the 7 churches in the book of Revelation, first 3 chapters of Revelation. And in those churches, what did Yahweh Shai find? He find a lot of them were sinners. He finds some things they did that were good, but some things he said some of them were worshiping the doctrine of the Nicolaitans. Yahweh Shai said the Nicolaitans is the thing that I hate, which was a doctrine of Nicholas. Nicholas was like a proselyte. Nicholas taught that you could go into idolatry and still serve the Most High. This is what Nicholas taught. They called it the doctrine of the Nicolaitans. But that's what Nicholas taught. And do you know, Yahweh Shai came back and says, that doctrine I hate. I think it was a church of Ephesians. It was one of those churches, the 7 churches. And they were teaching the doctrine of the Nicolaitans. And he said, that's the thing that I hate. So now in the churches, the camps, which are just churches, right? The camps. What do you find? The same thing. You find brothers who are into idolatry, into all kind of doctrine. Brothers are teaching doctrine now. We were talking earlier about that you don't have to keep the commandments. Esau's not the devil. All kinds of doctrines. Okay. Brothers are talking about they don't know if what Paul was teaching is authoritative or not. What are you talking about? What are you? John the Baptist is not Israel. What are you talking about?
John the Baptist ain't in the truth.
Ain't in the truth.
Ain't in the truth. Come on, man.
No, you're not in the truth. John the Baptist wasn't the truth.
John the Baptist was the truth.
Right, was the truth. So what is brothers? Doctrine, right? You find it in all these camps, You find adultery, abomination. You'll find everything, Okay, fornication. You'll find all of that in all the churches, all the camps. So it's like now we're doing the same things we were doing that got us kicked out of Israel and dispersed throughout the nations. This is what we're doing, Okay, come.
Come.
Okay, go ahead, You read 34?
awake to righteousness, and sin not, for some have not the knowledge of Yahweh. I speak this to your shame.
We're shameful. It's a shame. We ought to be ashamed of ourselves, huh? And we call ourselves the Hebrew Israelites. We're the chosen people of the Most High. Right? I got news for you. I mean, in the Christian world, they don't do some of the things that you find some brothers are doing, huh? Some of our people are doing. That we know that we're Israelites, that what we're doing. You don't find that in the Christian world, huh? Okay, come? You don't find that. Okay? So, it's a shame what we're doing. Go ahead, huh?
But some men will say, how are the dead raised up?
How are the dead raised up? Go on.
And with what body do they come?
How about some men? Some men are really asking this question. How are the dead raised up, man? What body do they come in? Go on, huh?
Thou fool.
You're fool. Yahweh Shai, this is Paul said, you're fool. This is what Yahweh Shai is saying. You're nothing but a fool. Go on.
Thou fool. That which thou sowest is not quickeneth, except it die.
That which thou sowest is not quickeneth, except it die. How about that, huh? Do you know that some of us in this truth have to die to be quickened in the spirit? Yeah. I mean, the scriptures tell you that. How was Yahweh Shai able to get what the reward that he got? And the immortality and the power. He had to die first to gain what he got. Come? So remember, the scriptures say, yeah, I mean, not everybody got to die. 1/3 is going to be delivered. But some of us are going to have to go that route. Just so we could gain the power, understand, of what Yahweh Shai is going to give us. And he's going to bring us right back. We're coming back with power. Especially 144,000. They're coming back with power. Huh? But in order to get it, because you read Revelation's 5th chapter about the martyrs of Israel. They're going to be sacrificed, and they're going to go to the throne of the Most High and sit right by the throne. And they're going to be asking the Most High, how long is it going to be before we can go back and destroy enemies? They're asking the Most High this. But they by the throne in the spiritual world, asking the Most High, how long is it going to be? The Most High said, just a little while longer. Until your brethren have what? Have sacrificed themselves for this truth. So some of us are going to have to sacrifice themselves for the truth's sake. Because that's, Yahweh Shai did it, right? So some of us are going to have to do that. But that's a blessing, huh? And Yahweh Shai is going to bring you right back. He's going to bring your spirit right back. He said, remember he said, Lazarus, come forth out of that sepulchre. Lazarus started walking out, didn't know what was going on. Looking around, asking everybody, well, what's happening? Yeah, the Most High just brought you out of your grave. Out of the sepulchre. That's what happened. See? And a lot of us are going to come out the graves. Right? Hold that. Get me John, I think it's St. John 5:27. St. John, I believe it's St. John 5:27. Are they going to come out the grave? Yeah, 5:28.
The book of St. John, chapter 5:28. Marvel not at this.
Don't marvel at this, because it's going to happen. Go on.
For the hour is coming.
The hour is coming.
In the which all that are in the graves.
All that are in the graves, right? So we say, okay, Chaarawtazahla, they laid him to rest yesterday. Okay, laid him in the grave burial site in Babylon, Long Island, New York. So they laid him to rest there. But the scriptures say what? All that are in the graves, go on.
All that are in the graves shall hear his voice.
Shall what?
Shall hear his voice.
They're gonna, so showing you what? That when you're in the grave, okay, your flesh is buried, but your spirit is up there with the Most High. So they're going to hear, that you're able to hear in the spiritual world. Come. You're able to hear, you're able to see, you're able to talk, you're able to do everything. Come. All right? In the spiritual world. Okay, go ahead, Al.
Marvel not at this, for the hour is coming in the which all that are in the grave shall hear his voice and shall come forth.
They're going to do what?
They shall come forth.
Wait a minute. The Most High going to bring people back to life?
And they shall come forth, they that have done good unto the resurrection of life, and they that have done evil unto the resurrection of damnation.
Wait a minute. Now he's going to bring people back to life, the ones who have done good and the ones who have done evil. That means even if you have, the Most High had killed your behind and you done evil and killed your behind and you've been buried and gone, he's going to bring you back for what? For eternal judgment, yeah. To punish you some more. To punish you some more. So now you up in the spiritual world, the Most High got the books open saying, yeah, man, this is what you done. You were wicked as hell. You did this, you did that. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring you back alive. And then I'm going to punish you again for what you have done. This is what he is saying. Come. And then the ones who have done righteous, he's going to bring them back alive so that they can receive the righteous judgment. Okay, come. That's amazing, huh? So you think that you're going to escape judgment by like committing suicide or, you know what I'm saying, or doing something evil, and you're going to escape it. You don't escape, Bob. How are you going to escape the Most High's hand, the creator of heaven and earth? How are you going to escape? You don't escape. The Most High going to bring you right back. And you're going to still be punished. You will not escape. Finish that. Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah, get the one in Daniel 12:1. Daniel 12:1. You will not escape, But that's amazing. A lot of our people will come out the graves walking on the ground. So you got father, mother, aunts, uncles, cousins, whatever family that have passed away. The Most High going to bring a lot of them back alive again, and you're going to see them again. Come. Okay. Daniel 12:1.
The book of Daniel, chapter 12, verse 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth.
See, many of them that found sleep, that are asleep in the dust of the earth, meaning you were buried. You were buried, and now you passed on, you're in the spiritual world. Okay, go ahead.
Shall awake.
They're going to do what?
Shall awake.
They're going to wake up. Lazarus, come forth. See, Israel, we represent Lazarus coming forth. Come. It's not just talking about us waking up mentally to the truth. It's also talking about you're going to come out the grave. Come. You're going to wake up. Go on up.
Some to everlasting life.
See, some of our people to everlasting life. Go on.
And some to shame and everlasting contempt.
How about that? Some to shame and everlasting contempt. So the Most High going to bring everybody back. He's going to bring brothers and sisters back. And some of them are still not going to make it, They're still not going to make it. That's because they were wicked as hell. That's why the Most High said, break up your folly ground. Right? Break it up, meaning return back, put on the new man, turn back into what is righteous. But our people, they refuse to do it. So that's why the Most High said, if you refuse him, he's going to refuse you. Come. Okay, so now go back to John. Not John. 1 Corinthians 15. I think you read 34.
Yeah.
Read 35.
Verse 35. But some men will say, how are the dead raised up? And with what body do they come? Thou fool, that which thou sowest is not quickened except it die. And that which thou sowest not that body that shall be, but bear grain. It may chance of wheat.
Right. So again, what we want is that spiritual body. Come. But you cannot get that spiritual body unless what? Your natural body dies. Come. That's what Yahweh Shai is showing us. This fleshly body that we live in right now has to really pass away so that we can put on or come back in the new body, in the spiritual body. Come.
Come.
This is what he's saying. Yahushua was the example of that. Go ahead, up.
And that which thou sowest not that body that shall be.
See, not the body that shall be. Go on.
But bear grain, it may chance of wheat or of some other grain. But Yahweh giveth it a body as it hath pleased him.
And Yahushua will give you a body as it pleases you. See? So we have to be changed, Doc. Okay? We're not going to rule the kingdom of heaven in the bodies we're in now. These bodies aren't good enough. I'm telling you, it's not good enough. Okay? It's too sinful. It's too defiled. Come? We're living in defiled bodies now. So our bodies has to be changed over. And that's why it's better for you to die and come back, and so he give you a new body, a better body, a stronger body. Come.
All
right, going up.
Verse 38. But Yahweh giveth them a body as it pleaseth him, and to every seed his own body.
See, every seed is own body. So everybody's going to have their own body, but it's going to be stronger, better. Okay, spiritual body. Going up.
All flesh is not the same flesh.
See, all flesh is not the same flesh. Go on.
But there is one kind of flesh of men, another flesh of beasts, another of fishes, and another of birds.
Yeah. So how's you got these people who would say, well, when I come back next time, I want to be a beast, or I want to be a fish. No, all flesh is not the same flesh. Okay. So you're gonna come back in a body, a so-called human body. This is gonna be better. Come. All right, going up.
There are also celestial bodies and bodies terrestrial.
Celestial and terrestrial. We're in terrestrial right now. Come.
Come.
Go on.
But the glory of the celestial is one, and the glory of the terrestrial is another.
Okay, the glory, there's different glories. So what do we know about the celestial? You know what I'm saying? We don't know. Okay, we don't know nothing. I mean, yeah, we were once in our celestial bodies, but we came into the earth. Okay, born into the earth. So we forgot all that. So now we're going to be raised up to a level now. We're going to understand what our celestial body is, our spiritual body. Okay? And our job is to maintain that celestial, that spiritual body. Come. Going up.
There is one glory of the sun, and another glory of the moon, and another glory of the stars. For one star differeth from another star in glory. So also is the resurrection of the dead.
Right. So that goes to show you that theory that we all evolved from apes and all that is a lie, because all flesh is the same flesh. Come? So that's a lie. So that's one lie Esau put out there. But again, he's contrary to the Most High. So he's going to put out lies. So how you going to come from apes when apes is a beast, an animal, and we don't have the same flesh? Come? Okay, go ahead.
It is sown in corruption. It is raised in incorruption.
The Most High said, you're sown in corruption right now. Because we live in this negative world. We're born into corrupt world. We're sown. Our bodies are defiled. We're sown in corruption. But it has to be raised in incorruption. Come? How are you going to be raised in incorruption in this society? How? You can't. You have to what? You have to change your body. You have to die first and have to be brought back into the spiritual body and be raised in incorruption. Come? That's why Yahushua talked about being reborn again. Well, hold that. Get John 3. Just hold that real quick just to show them. John 3 and 2. John 3 and 3. Start from the third verse.
The book of John, chapter 3, verse 2. The same came to Yahushua by night and said unto him, Rabbi, we know that thou art a teacher come from Yahweh. For no man can do these miracles that thou doest except Yahweh be with him. Yahushua answered and said unto him, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born again.
Except a man be born again. Go on.
He cannot see the kingdom of Yahweh.
How are you born again? Well, Nicodemus was like, well, look, Yahushua, this is what he said. Go on, read it.
Nicodemus saith unto him, how can a man be born when he is old?
Yeah, how is a man going to be born again when he is old? Go on.
Can he enter into the second time into his mother's womb and be born? Yahushua answered, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born of water and of the Spirit, he cannot enter into the kingdom of Yahweh.
See what Yahushua said? You have to be born of water and then of the Spirit.
Come.
If you don't go through that process, you cannot enter into the kingdom of the Most High.
Come.
You have to go through that process to get into the kingdom. And if you're not willing to do that, well, then you're not going to make it to the kingdom. Come. So how are you born of water? Well, through your mother's womb, right? Through your mother's womb, there's water in there, right? Through the womb, there's what do they call that water? Amniotic fluid. Comes. The sister says amniotic fluid. So, right. That's the water that you're born in, right? So you're coming through the water, but now you're in your flesh. As you grow up, you're a baby, and as you grow up, you're a so-called, toddler, teenager, and adult, right? So you're born of water. Now, how do you get into the Spirit? He says you got, He says you got to be born of water, then into the Spirit. How do you get into that? Well, that's what he said. We read in John 6:63, right? We read that. The Spirit, the flesh is nothing unless it be quickened. The Spirit is nothing unless it be quickened. Come. That was, go to John 6:63 again and read that one more time.
The book of John, chapter 6.
63.
Verse 63. It is the Spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing.
That's how. The Spirit has to be quickened. If it's not quickened, then you don't make it to the kingdom of heaven. Come. So you have to be born of water and then of the Spirit. But how do you get that Spirit? It has to be quickened first. And how is it quickened? Well, first, we were just reading it. 1 Corinthians 15. Remember it said, that chance of wheat, except it die, that which thou sowest is not quickened, except it what?
Except it die.
Except it die. Okay? That's how you get into the Spirit. That's how the Spirit's going to come. Come? So we have to understand that, huh? We have to understand that. And some of us are going to go that route. You have to go that route for some of us. Okay? Especially let's say the 144,000 of leadership had to go that route. Yahushua with that route, come. He went that route. He was an example. Okay? Yeah, that's the deal. Okay? So that was it on that, right? Now, go back to 1 Corinthians 15, and where would you lead off? We're reading to 50.
Okay. The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 38. But God giveth him a body.
Say Yahweh.
Salakia. But Yahweh giveth him a body as it hath pleased him, and to every seed his own body. All flesh is not the same flesh, but there is one kind of flesh of men, another flesh of beasts, another of fishes, another of birds. There are also celestial bodies and bodies terrestrial. But the glory of the celestial is one, and the glory of the terrestrial is another. There is one glory of the sun, and another glory of the moon, and another glory of the stars. For one star differeth from another star in glory. So also is the resurrection of the dead. It is sown in corruption. It is raised in incorruption.
See there? So the resurrection of the dead. See, it is raised in corruption, it is sown in corruption, and raised in incorruption. So now we're in the process of being raised in incorruption. Come? But remember, you have to be quickened to get that new body, that spiritual body. Come? You have to be quickened. And so I would say the same thing. We're talking about Chaarawtazahla, right? Passed away in the spiritual world now. Come now, Yahushua can bring him back, or he can come, like the scripture said. We just read in John 5:28, how he can come walking out of his grave. Come. All that's going to happen, huh? That's going to happen in these last days. We're going to see people walking on the earth again that we thought were long gone, huh? And they're going to come back. Okay? Go ahead, huh?
Verse 43. It is sown in dishonor, it is raised in glory.
How about that? Sown in dishonor. We're the dishonorable now. The whole nation, come. We're the dishonorable nation right now. Because why? We sinned against the Most High, and we had to be punished, dispersed throughout the nations and throughout the countries, right, in captivity. So we're the dishonorable. We're in our shame right now. Come. I think I said you read that. I think Daniel spoke about that. We are lie down in our shame. And Ezra spoke about it too. We lie down in our shame, man. Okay, go ahead, up.
It is sown in weakness, but it is raised in power.
How about that? Sown in weakness. We're in our weakness now, come. Okay, but in Yahushua there's power, come. That's why we gotta remain in Hamashiach Yahushua. You gotta remain in Yahushua. That's where the power's at. In Yahushua. Other than that, as a nation, we're not going to get nothing. Remember the disciples? Yahushua told the disciples, I will come to you and I will bring you the comforter. Right? I will bring you the comforter. Then that's when they were able to get power. They had to come together on one accord to gain the power. They had to do it. So the same thing here. We have to do it. Come together in unity and on one accord. If we don't do it, then we're still weak. So all the different camps say, well, I'm this camp and I'm that camp and I'm that camp and I can do this and you know I can't salute you because you're not of my camp. That's weakness, huh?
It's foolish.
That's not doing nothing for us. All right, Yahushua is not looking at you because you're a special camp. You know what I'm saying? You're a special camp. You got brothers out there talking about that they got all the truth and other camps will have nothing. What are you talking about? So Yahushua didn't give us nothing. You got everything, but we don't have nothing. We're just living out here. Nothing. See, so that's foolish. That's why he said, thou fool. So he called you a fool. That's foolishness, man. Go ahead, Al.
It is sown a natural body. It is raised a spiritual body.
That's it. Again, that's what he meant. You come through the water first, and then you got to come through the spiritual part, the spiritual body. Come. That's how you're being reborn. The natural body, then the spiritual body. You're reborn again in the spiritual body. Come? Okay? But that natural body has to die first. That fleshly body, that weak body, that sinful body, defiled body has to be reborn into the spiritual body. If it's not, you can't make it to the kingdom of heaven. That's what Yahushua is saying. Okay, going up.
There is a natural body and there is a spiritual body. And so it is written, the first man, Adam, was made a living soul.
See, a living soul. The first man made a living soul. Go on.
The last Adam was made a quickening spirit.
And it's referring to Hamashiach Yahushua. Come. And how did Yahushua get quickened? He had to what? He had to die first. Come. He had to go on the cross and die first. He knew what his mission was, He knew what his mission. He knew he had to go through. Of course, he had to take on the sins of the nation of Israel. Okay, for all our sins, he took on the sins. So they whooped him, right? They planted the crown of thorns on his head. They did everything, man. Right, He knew what he had to do. That's why he told the disciples, if I don't go, then you can't receive the what? The spiritual power. You can't receive the comforter if I don't go. Because the disciples, of course, they had affection. They didn't want to see him go. Of course, we're not going to want to see nobody go. You think we want to see Chaarawtazahla go? We didn't want to see Chaarawtazahla go. I went to his house, and I brought him some of the herbs. Some of the doctor said the herbs, right? That you read about. And I brought it to him. It was 2 bottles of what they call a Maya Electric, and to help him with his regain his blood count and his iron that he needed. He needed iron because he lost some blood. So I brought it to him, and he was weak and everything. And that was about 3 weeks ago, a month ago. But it's still, if the Most High wanted him, there was nothing you could really do. Right? Brothers prayed for him. The night that he passed away, brothers were at his house praying. Praying for him right there. When he took his last breath, brothers were praying for him right there. Mathatha, with a brother in Ghana, he was on the phone praying for him. Right? So brothers prayed for him. Remember at the summits, we were praying for him. We're praying for him. But if the Most High wants you, the Most High wants you. There's really nothing you could do. Right? So, but of course, again, when we read in the scriptures, Most High said, blessed are the dead, which are in
Mashiach
Yahushua. So the Most High wanted him for a certain reason. We couldn't stop that. No matter how many times you pray, we can't stop that. Come, the Most High wants you out. But still, the Most High hear our prayers for the brother, which is important. Come. Most High hear all these brothers praying for this brother. The Most High said, wow, so his works, the scripture says his works do follow him.
That's right.
Right. So all these brothers praying for him, that says a lot. So Yahushua hears that, right? Says, okay. So that's why the scripture said he's at peace.
Right.
Okay. And which we got word that he is at peace. Okay. We got word that. So the Most High shown us this is what we got to do, okay, and that's how we're going to be reborn into the spirit of truth, into the spirit, and get that power that we're so earnestly looking for. And because it evades us because we're still in our divisive attitudes. Come, right. We're still divided. We're easy to say Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Rakatha, but we still got our attitudes are still divided. Come, and so that's what we got to work on as a nation. Go ahead, up.
Verse 46. Howbeit that was not first which is spiritual, but that which is natural.
See?
And
that which is natural first. Go on.
But that which is natural, and afterward that which is spiritual. The first man is of the earth, earthy. The second man is of Yahweh from heaven. As is the earthy, such as they also that are earthy. And as is the heavenly, such they also that are heavenly.
How about that? So the first man is of the earth. So we're of the earth. We come through the waters first. And then that second man, okay, is of a quickening spirit. Spiritual. Okay, heavenly. Okay, how do you gain the heavenly spirit? Well, that's the process that we got to go through. And I'm going to tell you, if you don't gain that heavenly spirit, like Yahushua said, you're not making it to the kingdom of heaven. As simple as that. You're not making it. That's why it's going to be weeping and gnashing of teeth. And a lot of brothers think that because they know the truth, that they automatically going to make it. This is not an automatic thing, It's not automatic. Some of us are just not going to make it there because you were still not right. And this is why he said he's going to purge. He's going to be a Persian. They got the new purge law in Chicago now, in Illinois. You heard of that? The new purge law?
Right. Coming up January.
So here's the East law got a purge law. And the Most High, he probably get it from the scriptures. Sure, you get it from the scriptures. The Most High said, I'm going to purge Israel. He's going to deliver you from the Western Hemisphere, from this side of the earth, and deliver you now, before the destruction of America, deliver you to the wilderness. So that's a type of salvation, isn't it? And yet you're going to still go off in the wilderness. That he got to purge you and kill you. So he's going to destroy the rebellious ones, purge out the rebels. Just like coming out of Egypt, right? The ones who still wanted to go back, they were murmuring in the wilderness, wanted to go back to Egypt. You're going to have the same thing today. When we're delivered into the wilderness, you're going to have the rebels that want to go back to America. Same difference. Which America is the second Egypt. Because they're not going to be able to live without their cell phone. They're not going to be able to live without their plasma TV or their car. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to be able to live without watching Monday Night Football. Right? Or they're not going to be able to live without eating pork or their shrimp or whatever. So they're going to start to murmur in the wilderness. And what's going to happen? They're going to be purged, huh? That's what's going to happen. Okay? Yeah. Well, that's some good.
Nah, man, Tazapaya was just talking about that last night, how they was going to go back for the garlic and the onions and the leeks.
Yeah,
the same sentiments that you were speaking of. That's why I was laughing to myself. Going over the scripture, speaking about it ourselves. You know what I mean? How, like you was putting it in the references of the Monday Night Football and the stuff that people couldn't live without in the wilderness. And we was thinking about the same things that they was being purged for, complaining. And they was giving the manna and the quail and all that stuff too, and he still was complaining. And I saw all these miracles and stuff too. Like they literally saw this stuff.
Right. Because once I see the Red Sea open up, I'm convinced. I'm convinced. Most I ain't gotta tell me nothing. I'm convinced. Once you see the sea open up and we can walk right through on dry land.
Well,
I'm sorry, man.
And they died in the wilderness because of unbelief.
Unbelief. So
and it was right in front of them.
Yeah. They seen all the 10 plagues on Egypt.
Right.
I'm convinced, But the same thing here. So you're going to be delivered from America. The chariots are going to come out, deliver you, raise you up, and bring you to the... And so you're not convinced of you know what I'm saying? Of the Most High? Right. So that's why they got to die, y'all.
Yep.
And that's going to happen. That's going to manifest itself. It's going to manifest. It has to because the Most High said it. Go ahead,
Verse 46. Howbeit that was not first which is spiritual, but that which is natural, and afterward that which is spiritual. The first man is of the earth, earthy, and the second man is of Yahweh from heaven. And as the earthy, such as they also that are earthy, and as is the heavenly, such are they also that are heavenly.
Right. So the earthly is going to an earthly spiritual, not spiritual person, but an earthly person is going to manifest what is earthly. Mundane things, what they do in the earth today. Abominations, mundane things, But a heavenly spiritual brother is going to do what? Going to manifest the spiritual things of the Most High. Right? Going to speak on the keeping the commandments, high holy days. Going to do things spiritual. Brotherhood. Right. They're going to have love and brotherhood. They're going to be humble. Yep. So you'll know the difference of one that is earthly and one that is heavenly. Go ahead,
Verse 49. And as we have borne the image of the earthy, we shall also bear the image of the heavenly. Now, this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of Yahweh.
What, say it again?
Heaven and earth cannot inherit the kingdom of Yahweh.
Flesh and blood.
So like flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of Yahweh.
So what does that mean? You're not going to the kingdom. If you're still flesh and blood, right, in your mind, meaning your earthly thinking. If you're like that, you're not going, huh? You know what I'm saying? That's why remember Yahweh Shai talked about the marriage, right? And you had one that came that didn't have the right wedding garment. Right. See, flesh and blood, didn't have the right wedding garment. No, you ain't coming in. Yahweh Shai said, and there's going to be weeping and gnashing of teeth. You're not making it. See? Because who is Yahweh Shai going to marry? Somebody of flesh and blood thinking, or somebody that's heavily spiritually thinking? He ain't marrying nobody with flesh and blood thinking, right? He ain't marrying that. He's marrying the new man. He's not marrying that. So you can forget it. So that's the difference, brother. That flesh and blood is not making it. Now, I know some say, but aren't we going to the kingdom? Aren't we going to be flesh and blood in the kingdom? Yes, it's not talking about, it's talking about your spiritual knowledge and how you think. It's how you think. Okay, go ahead,
Verse 49. And as we have borne the image of the earthy, we shall also bear the image of the heavenly. Now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of Yahweh. Neither does corruption inherit incorruption.
Right. See?
Right.
So corruption cannot inherit incorruption. Okay? They do not go together. That's why, remember it said, be unequally yoked. Don't be unequally yoked with unbelievers. Because what can you do with an unbeliever? You are a believer, and here comes an unbeliever coming your way. What are you going to do? You're not going to hang out with an unbeliever. You're not going to hang out with an unbeliever. Right? So why would Yahweh Shai in the marriage be married to an unbeliever? He's not going to do that. He said, be ye separate. Yahweh Shai is a separatist. He's a racist. He's a separatist. He's biased. What? You an unbeliever? I don't want you around me. Get the hell away from me. Don't even knock on my door. Get away from me. This is what he's saying. I know you not. Depart from me. Because you're a work of iniquity. I don't want you even around me.
Right.
See? Going up.
Verse 51. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed.
See, we're going to be changed in our spiritual bodies. We're going to do with that spiritual body. Chaarawtazahla is changed in that spirit. He's in the spiritual world, right? See? So we're all going to be changed. Can an angel come? And angels can come in the flesh, can't they? Can an angel come in the flesh? Come. They can come in the flesh, right?
As a messenger.
As a messenger. And they have flesh and blood.
They can transform.
They transform into it, right?
Right.
So can we have an angelic-like body that we're going to receive from Yahushua in the kingdom? Yes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
We're going to have flesh and blood, but it will be like
body.
a glorified body.
Right,
like an angel.
Yahushua had. They can eat, but can walk through walls.
Okay. But like an angel that comes out of the spiritual world in the flesh.
Right.
Come? So we're going to have those type of bodies. Huh?
Correct.
And angels have power when they come.
Yep.
But yet they're in the flesh. And they can be talking to you one-on-one. They have all kinds of power. See? So it's going to be like that. Come? All right. Is that it?
Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible.
Right, there you go. And the dead shall be raised incorruptible. How about that, huh? The dead shall be raised incorruptible. Now the Spirit showed us in the scriptures that some are going to come out their graves walking on earth because they were actually dead. Come.
Come.
How about that? They were actually dead. And they're going to come walking on the earth again. And then the ones some of us who are spiritually dead are going to wake up. Come.
Come.
Now get the one in First Corinthians about the dead shall be raised. Not 1 Corinthians, 1 Thessalonians. My mistake. 1 Thessalonians. The 4th chapter. First Thessalonians 4:13. First Thessalonians 4:13. Go ahead, Al.
The book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 13. But I would not have you be ignorant, brethren, concerning them which are asleep.
See, them that are asleep. Meaning a lot of them, of all people that are in the passed away in the graves. Even Job spoke about it's like he was sleeping. He's passed away. He's in the spiritual world, but he's like you sleep, right? You're at rest. Okay, con. And then there are some of us that are spiritually sleep, mentally sleep, right? But go ahead, huh?
But I would have you, Slakia, but I would not have you to be ignorant, brethren, concerning them which are asleep, that ye sorrow not, even as others which have no hope. For if we believe that Hamashiach Yahushua died and rose again, even so them also which sleep in Hamashiach Yahushua will Yahweh bring with him.
See? So Yahushua, we were speaking on Chaarawtazahla, right? Yahushua is going to bring with him. Con? He's going to deliver those who are in Hamashiach Yahweh. Remember, there's no condemnation to them that are in Yahushua. So if you pass away for whatever reason, and Yahushua has chosen you, all right, you're still in Yahushua, he has chosen you. Remember, Yahushua said, all those that are mine, that the Most High has given thee, that are mine, he hasn't lost one. Come. Even though you passed away, he said, I haven't lost one.
Right.
So here he's saying, well, those that sleep in Yahushua, they're going to come back with him. They're going to rise again. Come. Okay, go ahead, up.
For this we say unto you by the word of Yahweh, that we which are alive and remain unto the coming.
See? Go to show you, it gives you a difference, right? The ones that are asleep, but then it says the ones who are alive. So the ones who are asleep, Paul is saying here, those are the ones that are in the grave that passed away. Come. And then the ones he said now that are alive shall what? Go on.
For this we say unto thee by the word of Yahweh, that which are alive and remain unto the coming of Yahweh shall not prevent them which are asleep.
See? So the ones of us that are alive are not going to be able to prevent them that are passed away, that are asleep. Come? Because they're coming too. That's why the scripture shows us they're going to come out their graves. Lazarus come forth. That's what Yahweh Shai gonna say. And they're gonna come out there good. They're gonna be walking on the ground, and you're gonna see maybe your father who might have passed away, your mother, or your grandmother, grandfather, maybe some of your children, whatever. We're gonna see brothers who have passed away. Next thing you know, we're gonna see Chaarawtazahla walking around, teaching us the Hebrew in the wilderness. Come.
Salakia, did y'all get that precept out of John 12? Y'all go there yet?
No, you can get it. You can get it right quick.
Pull it up.
Okay, yeah. John 12, verse 24 through 26. Verily, verily, I say unto you,
Hold that.
except the corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abideth alone. But if it die, it bringeth forth much fruit.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
all right.
Come. I mean, we brought the one out in 1 Corinthians 15.
Right.
So that goes with that. Come.
Yup, laying backing off of that.
Yeah.
He that loveth his life, Chaarawtazahla.
Yeah.
Right? Watch this. And lose it. Slacky. He that loveth his life shall lose it, and he that hateth his life in this world shall keep it unto life eternal.
Eternal. There you go.
And watch this. And if any man serve me, Chaarawtazahla, right? And let him follow me. Where I am, there shall also my servant be.
How about that?
Right? So he.
So tell him where you at again.
This is the book of John, chapter 12, verse 24 through 27.
Now read 24 again.
Okay. Verily, verily, I say unto you, except the corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abideth alone.
That's we read in 1 Corinthians 15, right?
Right.
The corn of wheat, it has to die to come back in the spiritual body, come back in another body.
Right.
Remember, Paul said it may come back as wheat or another body, but that's what he's saying. It has to die first. Okay, go ahead, Al.
But if it die, it bringeth forth much fruit.
It's bringing forth much fruit.
Right.
Con? So remember what we're talking about Chaarawtazahla, what he had did while he was alive. See? Bringing forth much fruit.
Right.
But we have to understand we have to, if we're going to get to the kingdom, have to die first. Understand? Just like Yahweh Shai, have to die first. Go ahead, Al.
Verse 25, he that loveth his life shall lose it.
Yeah, loving his life shall what?
Shall lose it.
Lose his life. And yeah, I mean, we don't love our life in this setup.
Right.
We don't really love our life in this setup. Okay, go ahead, Al.
And he that hateth his life in this world shall keep it unto life eternal.
Right. So he shall keep it. But how do you keep it? And Yahweh Shai is talking about your spiritual body.
Right.
Con? Your spiritual body. Because this body is defiled. It's no good. Right? So that means you're going to keep it. You're going to keep your spiritual body. He's going to bring you back into another body that is better. Right? A spiritual body that is better. Okay, go ahead, Al.
Verse 26, if any man serve me, let him follow me. And where I am, there shall also my servant be.
No, listen to that. So where Yahweh Shai is at, that's where the servants are going to be.
Right.
And Yahweh Shai is in the spiritual world.
Right.
So how about that? Understand? The spiritual world, that is a whole different realm. Huh? You think there's what, 7 billion people on this planet? What do you think's in the spiritual world? Huh? What do you think's up there? Serving the Most High, the angels.
Right.
What do you think's up there? Huh? It's a whole different realm.
Right.
Whole different realm.
Little host.
Yeah. Understand?
God.
So you think you've seen something down here? You ain't seen nothing until you get up in the spiritual realm. Huh? We haven't seen nothing. This is archaic down here. This stuff down here is archaic. It's nothing. Wait till you get up in the spiritual world. Okay? And remember, there's no pain. There's no, understand? Remember, it says even the wicked cease from trouble.
Wow.
Right. Even the wicked can't do nothing. So you might have, the cancer or whatever here, but soon you get in the spiritual world, all that is gone. It's gone. Understand? So that's that spiritual body, huh?
Yep.
Okay, go ahead. So where Yahweh Shai is at, that's where we're gonna be. Going up.
Right. A little bit more. If any man serve me, him will my Father honor.
Say yeah. So if you serve the Most High, how about that? So it has to be through Yahweh Shai.
Yep.
See, I don't see how these brothers who are Old Testament, Israelites, and they don't honor Yahushua. It has to be through Yahushua.
Right.
Because the Most High just said, if you're in Yahushua, then that's who the Most High is going to honor. Them that are in Yahushua. So it has to be that way. So that's a good scripture, right? Let's finish it. Was that it? I think that was it, right?
Back to 1 Thessalonians.
In Thessalonians, yeah, read finish Thessalonians. You start from 4:13.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
For this I Salakia, verse 15. For this we say unto you, but the word of Yahweh, that we which are alive and remain unto the coming of Yahweh shall not prevent them which are asleep. For Yahweh himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of Yahweh. And the dead in Hamashiach Yahushua shall rise first.
How about that? See, the dead is going to rise. The dead's going to rise first. So don't worry about death, brother. Okay, don't worry about that. That's nothing. You're gonna come back. Okay, that's nothing for that. Most High does that with a twinkling of an eye. To bring you back with a twinkling of an eye. That's nothing. Go ahead,
Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet Yahweh in the air. And so shall we ever be with the Lord. Salakia, be with the power. Wherefore, comfort one another with these words.
Right. So that's it, man. So again, we are honoring the brother Chaarawtazahla who passed away. And again, he got another one of his books also. This is the Hebrew book of the Psalms. He did this too. All in Hebrew. Okay? All in Hebrew. And the Most High will, next summit, we'll try to have these books. I got to see how we can get them. But we'll try to have all his books there. But he did this too. And we showed you these already. All New Testament and Old Testament. This is all the Paleo Hebrew. This is the first 5 books. Okay. The law. And this is the New Testament right here. Chaarawtazahla wrote both of these. Esau is taking his books, pretty much taking his books and making a profit off of it, putting their name on it like they did it. Okay? But you can get these books. I think you can order from Amazon, maybe I think Barnes & Nobles and so forth. All these books Chaarawtazahla did. The guidebooks, he showed you a couple, right? The guidebooks, Chaarawtazahla did all these books. Okay, all these. And these guidebooks, you can learn the Hebrew just from these guidebooks, huh? Okay, just from these guidebooks, you can learn the Hebrew. See? So when the scripture says his works do follow him, he did a lot of works, huh? And this Hebrew, because that's our language. Again, that's our language. So it's synonymous with our nationality. Okay? Just like the Arabs, their language is Arabic. Okay? In China, their language is Chinese. In Japan, their language is Japanese, and so on and so forth. The Ethiopians got their language. So we got a language too.
That's right.
Okay? We're the Hebrew Israelites. Moses said to Abraham, you're Abraham the Hebrew. Okay, So can't let nobody tell you don't learn your language, They're off when they say that. Okay, but Chaarawtazahla did all those works, So the Most High blessed Chaarawtazahla and continue blessing him, whether it's, when he was alive and even in the spiritual world, continue to bless him. So with that, I just want to say all praise to Yahweh Bahasham HaMashiach Yahushai. Okay, that's the end of the class. Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
Hallelujah.
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 Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Shalom.
Shalom.
You can turn my